Shalom, shalom. First, I'd like to give all praises unto Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai, Waharakah Kodash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and honors to you brothers out there in the highways and the byways, teaching this word in all sincerity and in truth. And I just heard a little bit of juicy information from this guy, John Mearsheimer, or whatever. Sounds suspect still, but yeah. Let me play this.
Facilities of Iran, and number two, their oil fields and their oil refineries. And you want to understand that the Iranians have said, they've said it very clearly, that if our oil fields and our refineries are attacked, we will go against oil refineries and oil fields throughout the Middle East. This would have a catastrophic effect on the world economy. It's a quasi-nuclear option that the Iranians have. So you want to understand that as we're going up the escalation ladder here, it could lead to a catastrophe.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
How precarious and isolated is Israel now, given the following? Iran and Russia are about to enter into, in the next 3 weeks, a mutual defense pact. The Kremlin has publicly warned Prime Minister Netanyahu to stay out of Lebanon. The Russian ambassador to Israel has publicly warned Russian citizens in Israel to leave Israel. The Kremlin has leaked that President Putin has declined to take a phone call from Prime Minister Netanyahu, notwithstanding the persistence with which he requested one. What do all those things tell? And one other thing, the Russian naval ships in the Mediterranean intercepted 13 Israeli missiles aimed for Lebanon. Maybe they were coming a little too close to the Russian Navy. How do you view all that?
Well, a number of points. First of all, the United States and Israel are joined at the hip, as I've said on many occasions. And the Russians and the Iranians, this is my second point, have come to understand that there's no appeasing the United States or Israel. You have to play hardball with them. If you think you can be nice to the United States and to Israel and they'll work out some sort of accommodation with you, you're living states into Israel and they'll work out some sort of accommodation with you. You're living in a dream world. So what this means is that the Russians and the Iranians are coming closer and closer together. And by the way, that alliance includes the Chinese and the North Koreans as well, right? Because they all understand that they're under threat from the United States. So they're coming closer together. And furthermore, as I just said, they all understand that you have to play hardball with the United States and with Israel. And that's what's going on here. And this is a remarkably dangerous situation because, as I said a few minutes ago, the Israelis and the Iranians are on the escalation ladder. And where this all ends is very hard to say. And now what you're adding to the mixture is the fact that the Russians are beginning to assert their influence in the Middle East. And this just makes it even more complicated.
Would you describe...
Now, yeah, that's all good stuff. This is all Ezekiel 38 jumping off the page. But what I found interesting was he said within the next 3 weeks, they're going to sign a mutual defense pact. Now, I did quickly try and find information, and I found that there's a new comprehensive agreement that they recently had another meeting on in September. Where was it? Right? September the 12th, right? Of this new comprehensive strategic partnership agreement, which I assume this is the deal that, that commentator was just speaking on. And he said it's going to be signed within the next 3 weeks. So everything was at November, basically. So I found that very interesting because these mutual defense pacts is a recipe for World War III. That's how the game goes. Because everyone's throwing in their hat. It's like, listen, we can't afford for any of our allies to fall. So if you attack, we're going to attack. All right. So that was very interesting to me. But like I said, This is Ezekiel the 38th chapter, jumping off the page. Right? Let's get that real quick. Ezekiel 38 and 7, it says, "Be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee." And you see that Russia's got China with them, North Korea. They got a bag of nations with them. Because Russia, for the last 20 years, have been increasing their global reach. Right? They've been forming allies, the anti-Western allies. All right? Hey, they've been even trying to cozy up with a few of them NATO dons behind the scene. You best believe that. After many days thou shalt be visited, in the latter years thou shalt come into the land that is brought back from the sword, and is gathered out of many people, against the mountains of Israel, which have been always waste, but is brought forth out of the nations, and they shall dwell safely, all of them. All right. But the point I wanted to make was straight to the point, man, that Russia is going to be a guard unto their allies. And it mentions, if you read above, it mentions Persia, Ethiopia, Libya, right? And the many people that's with them. So you know, that clip right there, man, it really hit me when he said there's going to be a mutual defense pact signed within the next 3 weeks. That's wonderful news. All right, Shalom.